What if I told you that 60% of relationships end, not because people fall out of love, but because of something they never discuss until it's too late? The chemistry would start off electric, but within months, sometimes weeks, I'd find myself lying awake at night feeling disconnected, frustrated, and ashamed. I thought I was broken. Here's what nobody tells you. Millions of people are suffering in silence because of three fundamental problems in their intimate lives. The first problem? We treat sexual compatibility like it's supposed to magically appear. We meet someone, we're attracted to them, we assume everything else will just work out. It doesn't. The second problem runs even deeper. We enter intimate relationships without truly understanding our own needs, boundaries, and desires. We've never been taught self-awareness in this area. Society tells us sex should be instinctive, natural, effortless. But authentic intimacy requires self-knowledge, and most of us are operating blind. The third problem is the most painful. We ignore the warning signs. When physical compatibility isn't there, we tell ourselves it will improve with time. We sacrifice our needs, suppress our authentic desires, and convince ourselves that love should be enough. We create elaborate fantasies about our partner changing, about us changing, about someday finding that connection we're missing right now. Different partners, same disappointment. You blamed myself, then blamed them. You read books, tried techniques, had difficult conversations. Nothing worked because you were trying to fix the symptoms while ignoring the root cause. Sexual compatibility is about alignment on the most fundamental physical and emotional level. It's not about performance, techniques, or experience. It's about two people whose authentic needs, rhythms, and desires naturally complement each other. Before you can find that compatibility with anyone else, you must first know yourself completely. This means honest self-reflection about your needs, your boundaries, what energizes you and what depletes you. Not what you think you should want, not what society says is normal, but what your body and soul actually require to feel safe, connected, and alive. This level of self-awareness doesn't happen overnight. It requires mindfulness, self-discovery, and the courage to accept parts of yourself you might have been taught to hide. You need to understand your attachment patterns, how you express and receive love, what vulnerability means to you, and where your boundaries truly lie. Here's the insight that transformed everything for me. Compatibility cannot be created through willpower or compromise. You cannot negotiate authentic desire. You cannot logic your way into physical chemistry. Either the fundamental alignment exists or it doesn't. This doesn't mean you need to be identical to your partner, but your core values around intimacy, your emotional needs, and your authentic expression of connection must be complementary. When they're not, no amount of communication, therapy, or time will bridge that gap. The most difficult part of this realization? Understanding that you must know who your potential partner truly is before committing to intimacy. Not who they present themselves to be, not who you hope they'll become, but who they actually are right now. This requires emotional intelligence, honest communication, and the willingness to see the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Stop deceiving yourself that incompatibility will resolve itself. It won't. Time doesn't create compatibility. It only reveals its absence more clearly. I spent 6 months in deep self-reflection, examining every relationship pattern, every compromise I'd made, every time I'd ignored my intuition. I worked with a therapist to understand my attachment style and limiting beliefs around intimacy. I stopped rushing into physical relationships before establishing emotional connection and authentic communication. I began asking difficult questions early, before attachment clouded my judgment. I learned to recognize when I was projecting fantasies onto someone rather than seeing them clearly. I accepted that my needs are valid, non-negotiable, and worthy of respect. I stopped apologizing for who I am. I developed a new skill, the ability to recognize incompatibility early and walk away with respect rather than forcing something that wasn't there. This was terrifying at first. It meant ending promising connections, disappointing people I cared about, and spending more time alone. but I committed to authenticity over comfort. Intimacy actually is not just physical connection. It's the complete alignment of vulnerability, trust, communication, and mutual respect. I stopped separating physical compatibility from emotional compatibility. They're inseparable. I stopped trying to be what I thought partners wanted and started showing up exactly as I am. I processed years of shame around my needs and desires. I gave myself permission to want what I want without judgment. I built unshakable personal boundaries and learned to communicate them clearly from the beginning. Now I can recognize true compatibility within weeks instead of wasting months or years hoping for it to appear. I've developed an intuition about alignment that I didn't know was possible. I can feel in my body when something is right and when it's not, and I trust that feeling completely. I'm free from the cycle of disappointment and self-blame that consumed years of my life. I no longer enter relationships hoping they'll become what I need. I only pursue connections that already demonstrate fundamental compatibility. This has saved me from countless painful experiences. I became stronger in ways I never anticipated. Setting boundaries and honoring my authentic needs built a foundation of self-respect that permeates every area of my life. The confidence I gained from refusing to compromise my core values extended far beyond intimacy into my career, friendships, and personal growth. I developed the crucial skill of deep self-awareness and honest communication. I can now articulate my needs clearly without shame or apology. This skill has become my superpower in building the kind of intimate connection I always wanted but never knew how to create. I'm grateful for the years of struggle because they taught me what I couldn't have learned any other way. The transformation was worth every difficult moment, every uncomfortable conversation, every time I had to choose authenticity over security. Here's what I want you to take away. Start with yourself. Before your next intimate relationship, invest serious time in understanding your authentic needs, boundaries, and desires. Don't rush past this. Your future happiness depends on it. Then, be honest about compatibility from the beginning. Don't convince yourself that incompatibility will resolve itself. It won't. Save yourself years of pain by recognizing the truth early and having the courage to honor it. Your intimate life can be everything you want it to be, but only when you stop compromising on what matters most. The power has always been in your hands. It's time to use it. Subscribe our channel for more practical tools.